Robert Picardi from EJP Architects and with the design team as well.
And then Jacob.
Jacob Murray, Waterfield Design Group. We're the civil engineer and landscape architect.
Great. And we also have Jordan. Do you want to just introduce yourself and say how you're affiliated with the project?
Sure, Jordan Cannon with Walsh Brothers, we're the construction manager on the project.
And I think that's all for you guys, right? Just Jordan, yourself. Yeah. And we also have Chris Imming here, who's with Gordon College. So I just wanted to have a few brief comments about the team. We have been, working together on this project and have been doing our best to be proactive to work with the town of Wenham departments on preliminary site and drawing review. And we had a meeting with the Wenham departments about a month or so ago. We understand that as part of this meeting tonight, there'll be a discussion about peer review, which we're happy to talk about and participate in, and hear a little bit more about the logistics of that. So I think with that, we'll turn it over to Jacob and the design team for the presentation.
Hello, welcome, and I'm Jacob Murray from Waterfield Design Group. We're the civil engineer and landscape architect, as mentioned. I'll go over briefly the site, and I'll actually, Margaret, can I share my screen?
You should be able to, Jacob.
Okay, are people seeing it yet? Okay, here we go.
No, not yet.
So
Another try.
let me. Okay. I'm actually. Do you see this? So this is just a general Google Maps area.
No, we don't. Oh, there we go.
See
we got it.
Okay. And if you can follow my cursor, we don't have necessarily a locus plan, but because all the plans start to focus on the area. But just to give you an idea of where we are, we're about a good 400, 500 feet back from any of the main roads here. This is Grapevine Road. Here is the existing Phillips Music Center, and the proposed Adams Phillips Music Center will be right in front of that. So the project is the removal of existing paved and courtyard walkways and landscaped areas, and replacing this with the proposed Adams Center for Music and associated patios, walkways, and utilities. The new building is about 15,200 square feet. And with that being said, I'll lead into, I think I'll go to Amanda to kind of talk about the building, and then I can come back and describe just some of the site features, drainage, before we kind of go into that type of detail.
Thanks, Jacob. So again, the Adams Center for Music this is a project rendering that we're looking at here, standing towards where the existing AJ Memorial Chapel is, looking back at the campus with the Phillips Music Center behind it. The Adams Center for Music provides world-class spaces designed for educational classes, performance, and religious and worship events at Gordon College for the students and faculty, including a 500-seat performance hall, large rehearsal rooms, spaces for public gathering, and associated support. The building itself is located central to the campus, set back from Grapevine Road, and is surrounded by existing campus buildings. This placement positions the building along the central existing circulation corridor, which is shown here in this rendering as the path in the front. And adjacent to the existing Phillips Music Center, and this building is connected to that existing building at both the basement and second floor levels.
And Robert Picardi, EJP Architects. So the building's been designed to complement and enhance the existing Gordon College campus in both character and scale. The primary exterior material is a blend of red and white brick. This material palette relates directly to the surrounding campus buildings, including the red brick and limestone found on Ken Olson Science Center. That's the building in the distance. While also complementing the adjacent Phillips Music School, which is on the left portion of the image. And we've also blended it with the A.J. Gordon Memorial Chapel, which is red brick and white trim. That's might be the next image that you can see. So that's off in the distance there. So the intent is for the new building to feel integrated with the campus fabric while still having its own identity. In terms of scale, the building is comparable to the adjacent Phillips Music School The proposed building height is approximately 40 feet, which aligns with the roof eaves of both the Phillips Recital Hall and the Ken Olson Science Center. The Phillips Recital Hall is off in the distance to the right. That's the white portion right there, and then Ken Olson's on the very far right, exactly. So for comparison height, the overall height of Ken Olson Science Center is approximately 58 feet, and the overall height of Phillips Recital Hall is 66 feet. Our building, 40 feet, is approximately at the roof eave of those two buildings. And so while the new building is consistent with surrounding eave heights, it remains lower than the overall height of the adjacent campus buildings. The overall project timeline, Gordon College is currently planning a ceremonial groundbreaking next month while students are still on campus, and formal construction work has not yet been scheduled, but the desired occupancy of the building is for the fall of 2028, assuming a 24-month build schedule. And that's the current goal is to, that's it. Yeah. So I'll pass it back to Jacob and he can describe the site features.
So here's existing conditions. I will note these green lines constitute conservation buffer zones, and we were before the Conservation Commission on Monday and got their feedback on the project as well, and that's moving forward well. So this is the existing conditions. So the general building area is going to be right in here, and we'll see that on the next sheet. This is a color rendering of the building. So the building's here in the brownish orange. You have the patios area in yellowish in the both in between the buildings and then in the front entrances. And then there's a reconfiguration of the main pedestrian ways that are also maintenance vehicle access ways in front of the building. On this sheet as well, there's a dimensional table requirement. You can see that we're well back from any type of setbacks, as you saw on the opening slide of the Google Earth image, and that the building in general is well onto the campus property and outside of all main public routes of transportation and other abutters near the property. So, one of the things that's covered in the narrative is parking. You can look in detail on that. You can read that for yourselves, but the general gist of it is that there's a tremendous amount of parking on campus for events if they were to happen, 4 times approximately more than are needed if even both this and AJ Chapel were to be used. But in general, the campus has no desire to do that because that would be way too taxing on their staff and infrastructure. And so they know that this is much more of a building to accommodate what's already occurring on campus with classrooms and a performance area, to replace the chapel for that and instead have the performances in the auditorium here. Briefly go over drainage. There's a number of utilities that have to be rerouted, both mains that have to kind of go around as well as to access and to supply the system. In general, though, there is the water capacity that will come from a main on campus. There is a sewer main that they can connect to on campus for sewer. There'll be a new transformer and generator to supply power to the building. And then the increase in impervious area will create the need for underground infiltration. The soils have found to be conducive to this, and the chamber system is in the front of the building. This, I'll mention this now that I know that the town has asked for a peer review of that, and the college is ready to move that forward whenever the town is ready. So I know that one thing that came up in general, cut and fill will be minimum because of the existing flat area in this location. We have supplied some emergency vehicle access diagrams showing that what is already allowed for in existing conditions will be allowable under proposed conditions in terms of fire truck and ambulance access to the site. And then there is a robust planting plan as well. I'll just highlight quickly where we are replacing the existing landscaping with more landscaping to beautify the outside of the building and to provide for the courtyard area. And in addition, in what's really already lawn areas right now on the downside area near the internal campus road of Prince Meal Drive, we are providing additional trees to kind of revegetate that area to meet conservation requirements for tree plantings in that area. Other than that, that's really the gist of the site and what is proposed. We have received the letter that was also passed on to us for the planning board, sorry, from the ZBA from Hamilton Wenham Dark Sky. And the college we just got that on Monday at the Conservation Commission meeting. And the college has acknowledged we received it, and we're looking into that with our lighting designer. And in general, the campus is seeking to minimize extraneous light pollution. At the same time, as a college campus with a lot of evening activities, they also have to prioritize safety for the student users and others on campus. But we can respond to that in a more robust letter and with illumination plan for the next meeting. With that, if there's any questions from the zoning board.
Kelly, Amy, do either of you have questions at this point?
I don't have questions at this time.
Hi, neither do I. I did read the letter that was submitted by Dark Sky, but I don't have any other questions at this point in time either.
If it's okay, Amy, I have just a couple of things I wanted to bring up with them. Jacob, you mentioned that you're prepared for us to do the peer review. We did get an estimate for that work, and Chris, I think I sent you an email. If you could get us a check for $4,900, we'll deposit that, and then we can get the peer review started. We have Weston and Sampson doing it. We got a couple bids. Theirs was the lowest. Theirs was lower by far, actually.
Margaret, this is Chris.
Yeah.
The college is
Chris.
prepared to accept the Weston and Sampson proposal, and I'll have a check issued for next week.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. So we can get started on that.
Can we talk a little bit? I'm sorry to interrupt you, Margaret, but just on the timing of that, if you're not going to, I just wanted to understand a little bit about the timing of that moving forward.
So we cannot contract with the peer review engineer until we have the funds in place. So we were waiting for them to get us their scope, and they did that the other day. So we can, once we get the check in place, we'll get the contract signed for them, and they'll get started on the work.
Do we have an idea about how long it will take them?
They usually turn things around in a couple of weeks on something like this.
So the idea is that we would be potentially coming back in front of you in a month. Is that
you're going to have to come back in a month?
In a month, okay.
Yeah, there's no way to avoid that.
I understand.
We don't have a quorum.
Yeah, we have a quorum for the meeting, but we don't have enough to vote on the project.
Right.
Yeah, so you'd come back next month, and we will have the peer review. We should have the peer review back, like I say, in a couple of weeks, and then you may have to respond to some of his comments.
Understood.
So there's a little back and forth there. That usually takes a couple of weeks. So I think a month is probably a reasonable amount of time to get this peer review done. So there were just a couple of things. You've talked about the lighting plan, and you anticipate doing some more work on this or giving us more details about the lighting, correct?
Yeah, I would say more details on what's there. And there's some kind of specific stuff about how many Kelvins will be given off by the lighting that we can provide in the illumination plan, and then also respond with a letter addressing the comments.
Okay, great. The landscape plan, we'll get that reviewed by our the tree warden. Usually takes a look at those just for conformance to the site plan review approval. Amy and Kelly, I just want to let you know that. So there were, and again, just a couple of things. Have you talked to the fire department about the access, Jacob?
We had spoken with them at the initial meeting, and I think we had even supplied some of the emergency vehicle diagrams with them already. So I haven't heard anything back formally, but they were very much aware of what's going on here.
Okay, great.
Margaret, Chris Simming again. Today I met with Jeff Baxter on site as well, and we're also looking at some additional fire hydrant relocation, things like that, to service the new building and the surrounding buildings during and post-construction.
Okay, great. So we'll wait for something from Jeff, and then if you need to revise the plan showing new hydrants or something, we'll have that before the next meeting.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So that was really all of the things that kind of popped out at us right at the beginning. So we can if you guys are okay, I don't know if any of the public have questions. If anybody's, I don't see anyone's hand raised. Did anybody want to speak? No. So I guess Amy and Kelly, if you, with the applicant's permission, you can vote to continue this hearing until, when is your next meeting? I'm sorry. It would be
Okay.
May.
27th. Is that right?
Yes, it's May 27th. Does that work?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, my cat.
So between Amy and Kelly, you can make as long as Jacob, Chris, you're okay for us to continue?
Yes, we are.
Okay, all right, and we'll keep in touch through the next couple weeks on this stuff. So Kelly, make a
oh.
motion to continue.
I motion to continue this meeting until the 27th, this meeting of the ZBA until our next meeting on May 27th
Okay. At 6:30.
Second.
at 6:30.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Okay,
All in favor?
Kelly. Anyhow.
Amy Cooper.
Thank you.
great. All right, thank you. Thank you, Jacob. So we'll keep in touch and we'll let you know if there's other things that we need, but we'll get the peer review started. Chris, if you guys want to drop off a check, we'll get that going as soon as possible.
Sounds good. Thank you all. Much
Thank
appreciated.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Thanks,
Sounds good.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
So Amy and Kelly, if you, there's a couple other things on the agenda, but there's no real need to take it up tonight. I know Kelly, you're in a,
Yeah,
know,
I've got to get back
we're-
into this. Sorry. I didn't know what the agenda was for tonight. So if that's okay with you, I'm going to go back in.
It is, yeah. So, we can just table all the other things that are on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, the rest of it was just updates. So
Right.
there's nothing that you need to vote on anyway tonight. And we can table the minutes?
Yes.
Sure.
You're okay doing that? Okay, all right.
Okay.
So if you're comfortable, you can make a motion to adjourn, I guess.
I motion to adjourn to tonight's ZBA meeting.
Seconded.
All
All
right.
in favor?
Hi, Kelly. Kelly, anyhow.
Hi, Amy Cooper.
All right. All right. Thanks.